I can only say that it feels like the world is unraveling in a sense, but it's the wrong way to express what I actually feel. When I see the establishment crumbling all around me, I must remember to say it's the establishment that's crumbling. I mean, we seem to be doing all right. There's a lot of problems happening around the world. There's war, a potential famine en route, and narratives are imploding. And that's why it seems like everything is crumbling around, or at least for me, it feels like everything's crumbling. Maybe you feel similarly. But then again, I think about it and I'm like, no, this is just the establishment narrative failing. Elon Musk tweets that he may die under mysterious circumstances. Now, why would this man go and do something like this? Fox News says, Elon Musk sets internet on fire with cryptic tweet about dying under mysterious circumstances. Some suggested the Tesla CEO's cryptic tweet about death under mysterious circumstances might be referring to the Clintons, but it seems Musk is likely more worried about Russia. Okay, well, that's an opinion, Fox News. Maybe you should label this an opinion piece if you're going to put an opinion in there, but okay, I'm nitpicking. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, he could be talking about either. A lot of people are acting like because Elon Musk has defied the establishment with such rigor and power, certainly they cannot let this stand. And then I start to wonder about conspiracy theories becoming conspiracy fact. Bill Gates coming out and talking about COVID and what we've only recently learned. It's funny. Go listen to what Bill Gates says. He's talking about COVID in such a way that everybody on the right was basically already saying a year and a half ago. Give it 6 months and these conspiracy theories turn into conspiracy fact. Specific example, Alex Jones last year talking about a major war coming in February. And then when the war breaks out in Eastern Europe, everyone's like, hey, wait a minute. Alex Jones said that was going to happen. You know, Alex was saying that it was public record. It was a matter of public record that the things that were popping up in the news, statements being made by people, it seemed fairly obvious the war was coming. And this is what I think happens. For someone like me, for someone like Alex, I certainly think Alex has his more wacky ideas. But I think what happens is the average person is not reading the news. They don't know what's going on. They hear secondhand or from memes. But for people like us, maybe many of you, for people like me and people like Alex, we read all of the breaking news as it's coming out. And then it becomes obvious. 1 + 1 = 2. 2 and 1 is 3. So when we see stories saying Russian troops are building up on the border with Ukraine, when you see stories like a tank production is increasing or whatever, I'm not saying that story specifically, you're like, sounds like a war is going to break out. I have a magazine from 1944, March. Life magazine, only a few months before D-Day. And it's got a bunch of photos of the U.S. Army in Britain. And it's like the U.S. is staging in Britain to prevent, in the event that Germany invades. Boy, was that wrong. No, we were staging in Britain, planning for an invasion of Europe as a counteroffensive. Amazing. But at the time, the media published lies. Why did they publish lies? Well, it's the war effort. They didn't want to leak crucial information that could stop us from winning that war. And that's the crazy thing. So let's talk about what's going on with Elon Musk and the narrative unraveling. The fact that people are entertaining this idea that the Clintons are involved in some way, that's the meme. The fact that there is a meme about Hillary Clinton killing people, which is crazy and hilarious. And the fact that Elon Musk is tweeting he might die. It's just like, are we really at the point where the world's richest man is entertaining the possibility of a conspiracy to kill him? And people are like, yeah, maybe. Shout out to a tweet from Chris Reagan. When Epstein was Epsteined, that's the verb now. He gets into an Uber, he tweets about it, and the first thing the Uber driver does is turn around and go, yo, that guy didn't kill himself. That was amazing. Regular people were like, no way, dude, something crazy is going on. And here we are, and we don't know about it. We know a little bit, but I always like to joke, and perhaps not really joke, that there's some dude in a CIA office or NSA office, and they're like sitting back, vaping, or, you know, normally I'd say smoking a cigar, but I guess we're in the vaping age now. And they're listening to this show and they're laughing like, so naive. If only you really knew, Tim Pool, if only you really knew. People with clearance are sitting back. And then, you know, I imagine there's a couple of guys and there's one guy watching this video right now. And his friend goes, you watched that crap? He's like, yeah, you know, it's all right. His opinions are good. And they're like, yeah, but he's wrong about everything. And we know it because we actually have access to documents about what's really going on. Yeah, What's really going on, huh? We are just on the outside. Tesla CEO Elon Musk ignited a firestorm on social media by suggesting that he might die under mysterious circumstances. While some on Twitter rushed to the conclusion that he might fear the Clintons. Why? Like, what is Elon doing with the Clintons? Look, when people are like, did you know that a bodyguard who worked for the Clintons had a heart attack, or that a guy investigating the Clintons was found dead of a gunshot wound or whatever? I don't know. I'm not saying those are real stories. I'm like, I can understand why someone would come up with a conspiracy theory about the Clintons because someone near them lost their life. But like, we get to the point that Elon Musk is worried about Russia and tweets about Russia and the threats against him from Russia, and people jump to the Clintons. I'd like to point something out to everybody. Look, people like to share this big thing about the mysterious circumstances around which people around the Clintons have died. And I want to I want to make sure you understand something. I don't like conspiracy theories. Bring me some evidence. People say, look at all these mysterious deaths. I say two things. First, make me a list of the deaths around any prominent individual as a control, and then show me there's anomalous data. Then we can start from there. Next, show me the amount of deaths around any equal political figure and family, and then we can move forward from there. What I mean to say is, the first thing you got to do whenever you hear these stories about, like, look at all the people around the Clintons who have died. Okay, pull up any famous person and do a deep dive into their life and see if there are similar deaths. Now, that's just a prominent person. The next thing you want to do is take a look at a comparable political influence. I think when people are like jumping the gun on the Clinton thing with the conspiracies about, you know, people dying around them, I'm like, dude, you may see a higher propensity for mortality, but it could be politics, not the Clintons. What I mean is, many of these people aren't just involved with the Clintons. These bodyguards work for other people as well. It's like, this guy was running this company and he was working with the Clintons. Like, yeah, what other companies was he working with? If you're talking about high-level global politics, it might not be unique to the Clintons. That is to say, I do not like Hillary Clinton. I do not trust her. I think the Clintons are just awful people outright. I have some serious questions about what the Clinton Foundation was doing in certain parts of the world and money they were accepting from certain countries while Hillary Clinton was working for government. But that being said, you always got to take these conspiracy theories with a grain of salt. You always got to be careful, because if you walk up to somebody who has no idea what's going on in the world, someone totally uninitiated, and you say that they're turning the frickin' frogs gay or something, they're going to think you're nuts. But then if you go to them and say, you ever hear of this atrazine thing? Is this pesticide? Let me pull this up for you. And then you show them something like NPR. And it's like, then you show them Alex Jones yelling to turn the frogs gay. They're going to understand the context. Otherwise, if you just show them the frogs thing, they're going to be like, wow, that guy's crazy. Remember, I was talking with someone at a party. And I was talking with someone. I mentioned that China was taking DNA from the COVID test or something like that. And then someone else was like, oh, that is not true. You can't just say these things. And I'm like, let me get my phone for you. And I pulled up the story and I said, here you go, read it. NPR, that a Chinese firm was taking the data from COVID tests and collecting information on DNA. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe NPR's wrong about that. All I know is NPR reported it. Something to that effect. Because, you know, for me in the conversation I was having, I knew the person I was talking to was initiated. They had heard enough to understand the context of what I was saying, but the person who wasn't was just thinking we were nuts. Now, here's the NPR article. Musk's mother, May Musk, responded, that's not funny. Sorry, I will do my best to stay alive. Please, Elon Musk, please stay alive. Yo, let me tell you guys something. One of the biggest challenges, security. I was talking to Ian recently, and he was like, never talk about security stuff. And I was like, yeah, mostly we don't. Sometimes we have to. We don't want to reveal certain information. But sometimes we have to like inform people as to why a thing happened. And this is a real challenge. You know, security is a very serious issue. Elon Musk, arguably one of the most famous, most powerful men in the world. The sword of Damocles above this man's head must be massive. And I could not imagine what he has to do to live. Yo, we have armed guards, we have security, we've had to dramatically increase security consistently. I'm not going to explain the full range of security we've done, but people still think they can try and come here despite the death threats, the swattings, the bombings. I'm sorry, the bomb squad showing up. No one blew up. I can't imagine what Elon Musk is going through. I don't know if the average person really understands the security issues and threats. You know, just imagine it this way. Seriously, imagine someone coming to your house. The police are showing up. SWAT teams, I shouldn't say SWAT teams, but like armed cops with guns showing up to your personal residence, because this happened more than once to us. And then people think they can come into your home and place of work unannounced and uninvited. Dangerous stuff. I don't know how Elon Musk deals with this. So mysterious certain circumstances. Others referenced a tweet from John McAfee on October 15th, in which the computer programmer said that he had no intentions of committing suicide. I am content in here. I have friends. The food is good. All is well. Know that if I hang myself a la Epstein, it will be no fault of mine. And then sure enough, what happened? Shortly before his cryptic tweet, the Tesla CEO cited a message from Dmitry Rogozin, a former deputy prime minister of Russia, who sent a statement to Russian media condemning Musk's Starlink satellite company for enabling the Nazi Azov battalion. From the testimony of the captured commander of the 35th Marine Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Colonel Dmitry Kormiankov, it turns out that the internet terminals of Elon Musk's Starlink satellite were delivered to the militants of the Nazi Azov battalion and the Ukrainian Marines in Mariupol by military helicopters, according to a translation Musk posted on Twitter. According to our information, the delivery of Starlink equipment was carried out by the Pentagon. Elon Musk, thus, is involved in supplying the fascist forces in Ukraine with military communication equipment. And for this, Elon, you will be held accountable like an adult, no matter how much you'll play the fool. Interesting. I think this is what Elon Musk was really referring to be completely honest. They're going to mention the Azov battalion, blah, blah, blah. The Ukrainians deny that they're Nazis. Many point out that there are many Nazis involved. Elon Musk. In response, Mohammed Al-Misahal, probably pronouncing that wrong, forgive me, said, "You won't die before your day, Elon. Anyhow, you are and were a unique figure in this world. I'm only wondering one thing. As a genius, haven't you found out that there is a great creator of this world yet? If you did, make sure you confess this before your last heartbeat. Bless you." Elon responds, "Thank you for the blessing, but I'm okay with going to hell. If that is indeed my destination, since the vast majority of all humans ever born will be there." I don't know which religion you're referring to, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. I'm not a religious scholar or expert, but I'm pretty sure the question of everyone else before Christianity or the Abrahamic religions has already been answered. I was talking to Seamus about it. There was some great event or something that happened where people were forgiven. I don't know. Maybe something to do with Jesus. Most of you who are probably more religious probably understand much better than I. But I do find it fascinating because Elon Musk has talked about simulation theory in the past. Certainly, you can recognize that simulation theory talks about a great creator. Anyway, you know what I do find fascinating, just because this is coming up, is the idea of judgment. I was watching Marvel's Moon Knight, and they mentioned Egyptian lore. It's like big Egyptian lore. And there's the realm of Duat, which is where people go when they die on the journey to the field of reeds or whatever. I don't know a whole lot about any of this stuff, but the general idea is that in Egyptian mythology or religion, when you died, your heart had to be balanced against a feather. And if it didn't, then you were condemned or something. Judgment. I just find it interesting that judgment is a persistent theme among so many religions. Even those who don't believe in the afterlife, they believe in some kind of karma, some kind of, you get what you give back. And it's really fascinating. I wonder. I really, really do. The challenge with the idea of karma is knowing what is good and what is evil. There are some things I think to be universally good and some things I think are universally evil. I believe life is the organization of free energy, the taking of free energy and making complex systems and growing. That's what life does. I wonder if that is our mission. And if you defy that mission or are a contributor to entropy, in a greater sense than entropy, negative entropy, then maybe that is evil. I don't know. Hard to quantify. I think you just typically want to do good. But let's talk about what Elon Musk is doing on other fronts as to why people might think that someone's out to get him. It's not just Starlink, but I think Starlink is probably the real reason Elon Musk is talking about maybe losing his life. We have this story from Fortune. Job interest in Twitter skyrocketed more than 250% since Elon Musk moved to take over, but current employees are nervous. Ah, yes, the upending of the establishment. Elon, it ain't just the Russians that are mad at you. It's the establishment, too. The powers that be don't like the idea that Elon Musk will be taking over their narrative control device. And maybe that's where something bad might happen. Elon Musk, what? He's going to lose all of the woke employees, and then he's going to bring on a bunch of non-woke employees? We'll see. We will. But I also have to wonder this. Could it be, my friends, that Elon Musk is not an anti-establishment figure, but that he's just so conveniently based, as it were? I mean, think about it. He did send those Starlink satellites to Ukraine, and if it really was that these satellite dishes, receivers, were dispersed by the Pentagon, could it be that Elon is actually assisting the establishment with their war? Could it be that Elon Musk is just conveniently based to catch, as it were, the runaway populist movement? I think of it this way. You get the populists, the Trump supporters, even on the left. The left was easily corralled. Look at Bernie Sanders, look at AOC, but the right was not. We protest, saith these right-wing nationalist populists. And the narrative is spreading, it's growing, it's working. And the establishment can't contain it. They've tried everything. They've tried censoring, banning. Doesn't work. You cannot contain the rapid spread of information as much as they would like to. Then along comes an Elon Musk. Elon Musk starts saying all of the best things. Like a Pied Piper, everyone flocks to him and says, we like this. Elon Musk then captures a leadership position. Trump is banned. Elon emerges. Elon trolls, says funny things. People start saying, yes, this is what we like. And then Elon does say he wants it to be that the left and the right are both fairly upset. If that were the case, Twitter would be run exactly as it's run now. So maybe what they're doing is kind of like solving a Chinese finger trap problem. You have these finger traps, you pull as hard as you can't escape. You have to give a little. You give a little before you can free yourself. May seem counterintuitive. So perhaps Elon Musk is an establishment player. He's got his factories in Shanghai, his Tesla plants in China. He's praised China to a certain degree in the past. He's delivering satellites to, apparently his satellites, I shouldn't say he is, reportedly being delivered to Ukrainian military forces. Maybe not. Either way, he's supplying Ukraine with these communication devices, which I agree with. I don't disagree with. But if it's really going for military purposes, that's interesting. And maybe what's happening is that Elon Musk is the establishment's attempt to give a little to then free themselves of this problem. We'll see. I think in the end, I'm not interested in the U.S. collapsing. I'm not interested in Russia winning. I am interested in free speech. If the establishment recognizes they have to give up on these positions to avert a long fall, that means we've won. I think everybody wants to see the U.S. survive. Everybody wants to see free speech. And if the powers that be recognize maintaining control and power, the only way to do it is to give back free speech, free up these systems, well, then so be it. I don't know what Elon's on about or what his plans are, and I can't read his mind. He's just doing good things. So all that matters is no matter what happens, he better keep doing good things. If he does bad things, we'll call them out. He wants to praise China, we'll call out the bad things. Here's something he said recently. Mike Cernovich said, here you go, Elon Musk. When Twitter employees invariably lie to you about enforcement policy, maybe they can explain why a verified account is allowed to incite terror without any care in the world and about being banned. Elon Musk says Twitter obviously has a strong left-wing bias. Very interesting. Like I said, my preference is to hew close to the laws of countries in which Twitter operates. If the citizens want something banned, then pass a law to do so. Otherwise, it should be allowed. Candace Owens responded, this is how it should be done. Why on earth any person can tweet that about something about the election being rigged without having their account suspended makes entirely no sense in a society governed by free speech. It's interesting. You should also be able to tweet that you do not believe the election was rigged, that you believe abortion should be banned, that it should be allowed up to 9 months. I think that's how free speech used to work. Yeah. And we should be allowed to push back, challenge it, and have those debates and those arguments. The problem is the powers that be thought they could contain conversations, but they could not because they'll exist somewhere. The internet exists. There are these apps you can get where you turn on Bluetooth and then you're off Wi-Fi or cell networks. You can transmit information through a mesh network of phones. was on a cruise once. Cruise had no cell service. Cruise had no Wi-Fi. Kind of crazy, right? You were just cut off. Everyone said before you got on, before they departed, to download this app. I forgot which app it was. Then turn on your Bluetooth. What would happen is I would send a message to Bill. My message was encrypted, and it would hit every single device. Every device would store that tiny piece of data but couldn't unencrypt it. But Bill's phone could, because it had the proper key, and then Bill would get the message. So as long as everyone on the ship was using the app, you could message people as if you had cell service. Amazing. Can't stop it. You cannot stop people from communicating. These mesh networks will be built. Elon, perhaps it's time to hire a food taster. I've long thought about this too. I've heard rumors that Donald Trump is a germaphobe and he likes eating fast food. A lot of people said that Trump he mostly only eats fast food because he's concerned about standards. I think maybe it's because he's concerned about being poisoned. No, seriously. He's one of the most powerful men in the world. Think about it. You go to McDonald's and you can see the burger's already been made. Say, that burger and those fries. Now you know they couldn't have tampered with it. You go to a dine-in restaurant, they make your food to order and you don't know what's been done to that food. Perhaps one thing you can do is always have a random person come in and order for you, and then you show up 20 minutes later, eat whatever they ordered. A food taster isn't even a guarantee. Back in the day, there was concern about poison. So what? The food taster would eat a portion of the king's meal and then wait 45 minutes to an hour? What about polonium? Some of these things are not fast acting. I don't know what you deal with. I don't know how you deal with this stuff. Somebody wants to poison you, they will. Scary times, man. You know, and as much as I'm not really concerned about this, think about it this way. We've been swatted, I think, 8 times, and we've had one instance where the bomb squad showed up. My personal home has had multiple armed officers with rifles coming to the house and sweeping it. It's crazy. What happens if I go out to eat at a restaurant and the person who's cooking is one of these lunatics and he sees me and he's like, now's my chance. Yep. Any day. You never know. So it's always interesting when I go somewhere and someone knows who I am. People, you know, I've met a lot of really great people who shake my hand. They say they're big fans of the show. They hook me up. They help me out. I really do appreciate it. But I never know if the person who recognizes me likes or doesn't like me. I think the reality is that 99% of people who watch my show do like it. And these far left weirdos are few and far between and kind of obvious to spot out. But what if I go to a restaurant in a city and someone sees me and they're like, dude, so they spit in my food at the very least? No idea, man. So maybe I have to take my security concerns very seriously. I think Elon Musk is at a greater risk than I am. But even Elon Musk hasn't been swatted as many times as I have. It's crazy days, man. Whatever, dude. Life's crazy. Elon, stay safe out there. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.